Hi everyone, Monica Bodirsky here, artist, author, and advisor. One of the questions I get asked most frequently is, what about spiritual hygiene? How do you cleanse your cards? What does it mean? So stay tuned, I'm going to share a little bit about my own practice. Welcome to Shadow. Hey everyone, thank you for being here and for watching today's video. If you're enjoying them, remember to hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for your continuing support. I do appreciate it. So, what are we talking about today? Well, before we get started with spiritual hygiene, I just want to say that I am wearing an amber necklace today in support of Ukraine and Ukrainian people, and that is the birthplace of my grandmother in Kyiv. So, sending blessings and energy. We're talking about spiritual hygiene as far as divination, and specifically I'm talking about with tarot or oracle cards, because there are just so many different ways that people can cleanse their space and their items depending on your own practice. So once again, I'd like to emphasize that this is how I cleanse, and however you do it, I think that's wonderful. There are so many different opinions and different approaches. You have to find what works for you and be tuned into your space and your divination items to know what clean actually is. So that's the tricky thing. When we're talking about cleanliness and spiritual hygiene, I am talking about ensuring that there is no negative energy or lingering negativity in the space that I'm reading and with my divination item. So here are a few of the things that I do. So number one, mind, body, and spirit. I do keep my physical environment clean where I read, because that's very important to me. I feel that dirt, while it can be sacred, often carries with it stale energy. Maybe not so much negativity depending, but certainly a stagnation, and I feel that there's no free-flowing energy in that space. I open windows, make sure it's dusted, wiped down, cleansed, vacuumed. However you want to cleanse your space, you might want to give that a try just to see if it makes a difference for you. It certainly does for me. Also, some people adhere to this, others not so much, but I do tend to take a shower before doing serious readings, or do my readings right after I've had a morning shower. Same thing, I guess. That to me is also very important. I think it's not just a sign of respect, but I am cleansing my own aura, my own energy, and making sure I'm bringing nothing into it, because I created an open portal when I start to read, and I want to make sure that I'm also in a good space. Okay. Number two, cleansing the item. You know, I use essential oils frequently on my hands, just a couple of drops, and then handle something like my deck of cards. It not only imparts a wonderfully calming aroma, but also does keep my deck fairly cleansed. Now, in the last couple of years, I must say, nobody's really handled my deck other than me, but even my own energy clearly, especially for difficult readings for some clients. So it really does help with that in cleansing my own reactions and my energy that I'm putting in. And for those of you who do have clients handling their cards, you really do want to think about this a little bit. Another way that you can cleanse your cards, and a lot of people do this too, is to leave them in moonlight. I try to ensure that I leave my cards, or the cards I use most frequently, or the divination method I'm working with, in full moonlight. I find that is incredibly cleansing. On occasion, I will leave them for a moon bath and a sun bath. Okay, I'll leave that up to you. Some people don't want their cards to fade, or they just wouldn't want to leave them in the sun. That's entirely up to you. Okay, what about number 3? I would say that would be storage. So when you're storing your cards, it can be the type of storage you have. This is, my spider bag from the Shadowland Tarot. I use it for the Lenormand as well. And, my spider's protecting the contents. I like bags because you can wash these. And you can also put a little essential oil in them. There are some people, myself included, just a wee bit. This is my other bag. This is my bat bag. That is lined with silk. And silk is said to be a protective barrier as well for cards. So you might want to consider the material and the bag and also what you put in the bag. You can keep herbs in your bags. You can also put something like a crystal or citrine, which of course is another crystal. Anything that you feel should be with your cards to keep them cleansed in between, say, a moon bath or essential oils. Some people will write things down. I pause there because I know a couple of friends of mine write down a verse that they keep in the bag with the cards as cleansing, as blessing. Okay? Well, what else do we have? I think I mentioned, before I move on, the symbols. If you do keep your cards in a box, it doesn't need to be a bag, but I think storage beyond just the printed box can be very cleansing and empowering and charging your cards. Okay, so the symbols. Also, what do we have? Number 4. I think closing a reading. I think this is important. This is just part of my practice, as I've mentioned, but closing your reading with an offering and a thank you. And I have a ritual of saying, and now the portal is closed. To me, that's important so that, I feel like since a portal is opened, it's important to close it again. We can leave it there. You can understand that for those of you who have used Ouija boards or consider it kind of an opening to other realms and vice versa. I feel that it's part of the hygiene of the space to close the door and window once you're done. Okay? All right. And number 5, very quickly, I think just treating your space and your time as sacred and your divination items. I know some people will argue they're just cardboard. We make these items sacred through use and with whatever spirits or ancestors that we have within our practice. This takes it from the mundane of cardboard and takes it into a sacred kind of an arena for me. And as such, that is part of spiritual hygiene. Respect. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave comments if you have a different approach. Some people use sacred breath, sacred words, chants, music. There's so many different ways. Incense is another thing I use, but I'd love to hear your particular take on spiritual hygiene, and even if you do think it is necessary. Okay, thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.